Here I have an interesting little prompt for creating a Forex Hub system that allows users to register, authenticate, and during registration it sends a verify email address email, and then it creates an upload KYC document. KYC is a Forex or fintech lingo. It means know your client. And it basically allows clients to upload photos of their passports or driver license, etc. Then it creates a couple of additional endpoints to retrieve KYC documents and accept KYC documents intended to be integrated into the CRM, allowing back office workers to actually allow traders to become traders and actually perform trades based upon their KYC documents, etc., etc. I'm asking the system to use SQLite as a database and entity framework to access the database, in addition to using all C# best practices such as IOC and SOC. So let's see what the system produces for me. I asked it to use ASP.NET 9 with minimal API in C# and finish with how many lines of code the system required in total. Here you can see program. Okay, so here's the authentication logic to accept bearer tokens through the authorization header. Here's a model, user.ces, which is the model that retrieves items from the database. And DB context is using entity framework. Email service, okay, so it's creating an email service, a JWT service to generate the tokens, and then it's creating a register endpoint, and then it's creating a verify email endpoint, and then it's creating a login endpoint, upload KYC endpoint, change KYC status endpoint, list KYC files endpoint, get KYC file endpoint, my mapper here, and then it finishes with a readme file. Let's see how many lines of code this was. 460 lines of code and 14 files in total. So now I'm going to do the same here. Let me see, let me just copy this prompt. I've been dry running a couple of times before I started the YouTube video. Refresh, paste in the Hyperlambda prompt. That is basically the equivalent of the C# prompt, asking it to generate the exact same thing. Notice I will be publishing an article about this video, which I will link to in the video, and there I will publish my prompts such that you can analyze them yourselves and reproduce what I'm doing to verify I'm not cheating. So the C# solution had 460 lines of code in 14 files. So now let's wait and see when the vibe coding module in Magic is done, creating everything, how many lines of code it actually produced. Now you can see it's generating register.post.hl. Lazy OpenAI. Their models sometimes are lazy, so you have to just tell go to have it continue. Okay, so now it's generating email verification endpoints, authentication endpoints, and adding a file level comment before it saves the file. Now it's doing the KYC upload endpoint, where users can upload images of their passports, etc. Approve, the endpoint that's supposed to be integrated with the CRM, allowing back office workers to actually manually click on a button to actually approve a trader. This is a regulation requirement. Approve is done, KYC documents, retrieval endpoint, etc. Now let's count how many lines of code this was. And I need to emphasize the C# solution was 14 files and 460 lines of code. Let's see what this is, 170 and 8 files. So 170 versus 460. Calculator, 460 divided by 170, almost 3 times as verbose. That means that the C# solution requires 3 times as much code to simply do the same thing. And we can actually look at the code here too if we want to. We go back, if we go to our Cloudlet, we look at modules, we look at Forex, or for instance, here's the register HTTP endpoint. As you can see, it's creating in the folder, and then it's sending the email, etc., etc. It does hallucinate every now and then. I need to emphasize the Hyperlambda generator. It's not 100% perfect. However, there is one huge difference between this and this. You see, this thing, now I gotta download it. Okay, I get a zip file. Then I have to compile it. Then I have to locally test it on my development machine. Then I have to maybe push it to some external GitHub repository. This might trigger a pipeline or unit tests or stuff like that. So basically, from this point till I can actually test my code, until it is in production, even with everything already set up, this process might still take 10 minutes. Here, it's in production. I click F5 now, boom, I'm executing code. It's in production, no pipelines, no configuration, no nothing. It's just there, immediately, instantly. So the complexity, first of all, the complexity of your code becomes 3 times as verbose, even when using minimal API, may I emphasize. And in addition, to just test it. Now I gotta wait 20 minutes for some pipeline to finish, download the zip file, etc. This thing is done. It's already in production. When I click submit here, boom, it's done. You see, for complex solutions, so this is a fairly complex problem. I need to emphasize I've been working with Forex companies and fintech for many, many years. I've been working with 5 different Forex and fintech companies. And this is the standard solution that most of them are basing their business model upon. And then they have a trading system, typically an externally licensed platform such as MT4, MT5 or CTrader, etc., etc. And then they allow for, the only thing I actually didn't do, which is like crucial in regards to the business model of these Forex companies, was that I didn't I didn't create the ability to deposit or withdraw money. But besides from that, this is actually 90% perfect functioning solution with a couple of bugs here and there, which I can manually sort out in, you know, a couple of minutes. And it's in production. When I click that start button and the process is done, the code is on my server. Right. No Git, no pipelines, no GitHub workflows, none of that crap. It's just there. Boom. And that makes me approximately 100 times as productive. And it's not because of me. Well, of course, I mean, I am a senior developer, a very, very senior developer too, but these cognitive tools that you are capable of leveraging in Hyperlambda through Magic Cloud, you know, if you take some effort and time to teach yourself Hyperlambda, you will experience the same productivity boost yourself. And then the question becomes, what are you going to use your spare time to? Well, you know, if you're 10 times as productive, that means you can accept 10 times as many jobs, or you can have 90% of your time on the beach. That's really up to you to decide.